Anybody there? Is this it? Okay.
No, that's too big.
Oh my God, are you kidding? And I'm gonna go
It's a
get
big
that.
one. You got a small one, so I don't know. No, it's right. It's right. It's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, but Be'isra by the Atzma lo Amrina. But
Cute Barbie thing, but I don't know if you play with Barbie for $20.
a short, which is a prohibition in Hebrew things,
It's
Lord,
random things.
we don't consider that an Isra Koilel to say that a person can add an Isra to it, something that is already Aserd Min Torah. So Bishma Reish Lakish, it works because he says it's on a Chatzi Shir, where there was no Isra Min Torah, Mishum Hachi Kopat Rab Shimon. The Tana Rab Shimon Oimer, Kol Shu Lamakois. When you eat something, you get Malchus, but no Korban. Lo Mukazayis Ela Korban. Ela Rav Yochanan, my time, the Rav Shimon de Potar. Midi hu taima Ela Mishum Isra Koila. The Rav Shimon letamei de Leslie Isra Koilo. Rav Shimon is consistent because he holds that there is no concept of a broader Isra that can have a chalois on something that you're already awesome in a Torah. Where do we see this Tanya? Rav Shimon Oimer. Ha'oichel nevela b'yom Kippur. So, on Yom Kippur, you're not allowed to eat anything. So if a person eats nevela on Yom Kippur, you're not chayiv for nevela. Because we've already chayiv, we're not allowed to eat anything. And Yom Kippurim is a broader Isra, it's an Isra Kola. But Rav Shimon doesn't hold of Isra Kola. So Bishma Rish Lakish Mishkachas Law B'la V'hein. Now, one of the criteria to be over for a Shvua, it has to work sort of front and back. You have to be able to be chayv if you didn't do something, or if I did do something. If I say I'm not going to eat even a mashu from something, or I say I'm going to eat something, the shvua in both cases would be chal. And it's going to be less than a shear. So less than a shear, I'm not mushbavoin in Mar Sinai, there will be a chalois of the second shvua. El Rav Yochanan, bishma b'lav mishkachasla. So according to the way Rav Yochanan is learning, Isser Nevela has a chalois on an Isser Koilel, because we said he asked on himself permitted items. So that's a lav thing. But Elav Hain, where he says I take a shvua that I'm going to eat something, like I'm going to take a shvua, I'm going to eat nevela and other permitted things. Heichi mishkachasla. The shvua is not going to allow you to eat nevela. Ella, we have to go back on our understanding of the Mishnah. That if you eat something that's not roy lachila, and you're potem in a shvua, but by oichel nevelis you're chayiv, why? So we ask, what's the nafkamina? Nevela, you also are not roy lachila. We said you because you said it in your shvua, nevela separately. But now we're saying, in all cases, you took a general shvua, I'm not going to eat. And things that are not roy lachila in a chalam, you're going to be potter. K'derav damar rafa. Shvush loy oichel. I take an oath I'm not going to eat. V'ochel offer, he ate dirt. Potter. It's not considered achila. But by nevela, this is food that you could eat. It's a food. There happens to be an isser, like a side issue, like a lion standing on it. It includes these things because it is generally food. Amrav Mary Afanama Tantamina. Koinem ishti nenesli. I take an oath that my wife should not have an off from me. Imachalti ayom, if I ate today. The achal nevelus trei for shkotz of Ramoshim. Now, is that considered achila? Yeah. Hare ishta asurlo. So we see here clearly that eating something that is even it's also to you is considered an achila. So the Gemara asks, Hachi Ashta, but what do you mean? Hasum kivin demikra achal v'hadar ishtaba. Let's say a person ate a prohibited item, and then he took a shvur that he didn't eat it. But chashuve achshuve, by eating it, he was machshavit, and he had enough from it. So it was considered something that was necha. Hacha. But if he takes a future oath, I'm not going to eat something, miachshavit doesn't mean for sure that he's machshavit, so there's no riot from that case. Amarav. My time of demand the islay isser kola. What's the svara that a broader isser will take hold of something, even something that is prohibited previously? Midi dahavi l'isser moisif. If, for example, there's a added element of isser, umad de potar, the one who says there is no concept of isser koil is the Leslie. Ki Omar, when does he say isser schal and isser bisser moisif? Bechada, chaticha. When there's an added isser in that piece. But b'shtei chaticha is different. Lo amrinan. Just because there's a chal isser on that piece, it should chal on the other piece that he wouldn't say. Amar Rava Lamandi Islay Isser Koila. That according to the Mandoma that says that like Yom Kippur on the Vela. But that's an Isser that happens by itself. But about a person taking an oath. Amar Shvush Lo Oichel Te'enim. He takes an oath, I'm not going to eat figs. Because of Amar Shvush Lo Oichel Te'enim Ba'novi. And then he says, I'm not going to eat figs and grapes. Now, he was already prohibited to eat figs from the first shvuah. How could it chal on the second? Yeah. Miduch the chayla anovim, since the second shvuah has a chalois on the grapes, chayla nami ala te'eni. The Gemara says, Pshita, why would that not be a davar pashut? Because Ma'adu sema isra ba me'elav amina. This is an isser, maybe only by an isser like Yom Kippur that comes on its own, without a person creating the isser. Maybe then it has the ability to have a second isra chal on something. But isra ba me'atzma lo amrina. Kamash malon, no. Even a isra that a person creates the isra, if it's something that's added, it'll work. Mostly probably the Rava. Yesh oichel achila achas v'chayv alea arba chatos v'oshem echad. Somebody could eat one thing, b'shogeg, and you'd end up bringing 4 korban chatases and an osha. Tamei she'ochal chelev. Somebody who was tamei, who ate chelev, v'hu noiser, min hamugdashim. So a tamei person who eats hegdish, that's 1, noiser, chelev, b'yom HaKippurim. So Rashi says, Chai mishum chelev, umishum noiser, umishum yom HaKippurim, umishum tamei shach la'kodesh harei arba chatos, v'oshem echad mila, he benefited from hegdish, so that's the osha. Reb Meir Oimer, Afim Meiser Shabbos Voitzio Chayiv. If he carried it in his mouth from Rishus to Rishus, he's also Chayiv. Achatas. So Omer Lo Einu Min Hashem, but that's not an eating Isser, that's a carrying Isser. However, Im Isa, if a second Shvuah can have a Chalois because of the Isser Koil business, so Mishkachas La, Chamesh, we could come up with 5. He could have said, I take an oath that I'm not going to eat this chaylev and a date. Because migo de chalal tomorrow, chaylev. So there'll be a 5th. So kik tani isra ba me'elav. Like Yom Kippur. Isra ba me'atzma lok tani. But what do you mean, Dvar Hegdish? If it's a Dvar Hegdish, he created the hegdish with his mouth. The Gemara answers b'bechor. We're talking about a hegdish that's a bechor where you didn't have to say anything. It happened by itself. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. What time? What time?
6:20.
I'll see you there. Bye bye.
Wait for confirmation.
Okay.
because,
Okay.
hard time.
I'll wait. E-boy saying, I'll give you another reason why there's no korban for the shvua. Kiktani mida the lesle she'ela. We're dealing with things that you can't go to a chacham to ask him to undo it. But shvua the lesle she'ela, look, I didn't mention it. Hektish. When you designate something hektish, you can also go to a chacham to undo it. But hakamina b'bechor. We said it's a bechor. A chacham cannot undo the kedusha of a bechor. Iboy Sema, maybe the other reason why it doesn't mention a shvua to add a fifth chatas, because kiktani korban kavua. We're talking about regular korban that does not change if you're wealthy or poor. But korban oil v'yoyred, lo ktani. Korban oil v'yoyred is already talking about sliding scale korbanos by the tamei who ate hegdish. So the Gemara says, Benasi, this was a melech. According to Rabbi Eliezer, the Amar Nasi may be so'ir. He brings a standard korban. Ravashi Amar Kiktani midi de chayla kashir. We mentioned things, chaylev, noiser, that there's a chalois of these yisrum on a certain shear. But shvua the chayla pachos mikashir loktani. Remember, we said if a person takes an oath, I'm not going to eat, even if he eats a kol shu, you're chayiv. So that's why the shvua case was not mentioned. But hare hegdish is also, there's a chalois is if you eat less than kazayir. Yeah, but haba'in and shavapruta. But a shavapruta is a shear. Ravashi mavira omar Rav Zera kiktani zdoinoi kores. Chelev noiser Tommy Shachal and Nefesh Yom Kippurim. If you do it b'mezid, you get kores. Zdonu lav loktani. But by just an Isra Malkus, we're not mentioned. Varei Ashram Shazdonu lav. The chiyuv me'ilot where you get Ashram is only on lav, not kores. Uketani. We're talking about Bechatas coming in. Okay, we'll stop here. So we caught up. Very good. I'll see you at Mincha 6:25. That was not teachers calling me.